Have you ever truly wondered what happens inside your body each time you masturbate? Most men assume it's a simple physical act, but the truth runs much deeper. Beneath the surface, your prostate experiences a chain of reactions, some that protect your health, and others that might quietly cause harm if ignored. What if something that feels so normal could actually reshape your prostate's future? And could understanding these hidden reactions help you make wiser choices about your long-term health? These questions lead us to one of the most fascinating and misunderstood topics about aging and male wellness. In this video, we'll reveal 6 shocking changes that happen to your prostate when you masturbate. From shifts in blood flow and hormone balance to the surprising ways it may affect your long-term prostate health, these internal reactions play a crucial role in how your body functions as you grow older. By understanding them, you'll be able to make smarter decisions about your daily habits, your health, and your future well-being. Stay with us until the end, because you'll not only uncover what happens to your prostate when you masturbate after 60, but also learn how these gradual changes shape your health over time. Some of these insights might completely change the way you think about your body, and could even help you prevent serious complications later in life. Now, let's begin with one of the most debated questions among health experts: the connection between masturbation and prostate cancer risk. Over the years, studies have suggested that regular ejaculation may help flush out harmful agents and inflammatory substances from the prostate, potentially reducing cancer risk. The explanation is quite logical. The prostate is a gland that produces seminal fluid, and over time, toxins, metabolic byproducts, and excess hormones can accumulate there. If these materials aren't regularly expelled, they can contribute to cellular stress and inflammation, both of which are linked to a higher likelihood of cancer development. Researchers believe that frequent ejaculation helps clear these potentially damaging compounds, keeping the prostate in better condition. For example, a well-known Harvard study found that men who ejaculated at least 21 times per month had a significantly lower risk of developing prostate cancer compared to those who did not. Some men in the study who ejaculated less frequently showed higher rates of prostate issues, but this doesn't mean every man needs to meet a strict number. Instead, it suggests that maintaining a regular pattern of ejaculation may bring real benefits to prostate health. Still, this is just one part of a much larger picture. Genetics, diet, lifestyle, and overall wellness all play powerful roles in determining your prostate cancer risk. Consider the story of James, a 74-year-old man with a family history of prostate cancer. Worried about his chances, he began searching for practical ways to protect himself. Through his research, he learned that keeping an active sex life, combined with healthy nutrition and consistent medical checkups, could make a measurable difference. After consulting his doctor, James made a few simple but effective changes. He added more frequent ejaculation to his routine, focused on a diet rich in cruciferous vegetables like broccoli and kale, and committed to a light exercise program that helped balance his hormones. Over time, he noticed not only better energy and mood, but also improved confidence in his overall health. However, it's important to understand that ejaculation alone isn't a guaranteed shield against prostate cancer. It should be viewed as just one of many lifestyle habits that support prostate wellness. Maintaining a nutritious diet, reducing stress, staying physically active, and getting regular prostate screenings are equally important, if not even more crucial, to your long-term well-being. Now, let's move to another aspect of how your body responds: the temporary reduction in prostate congestion. This is one of the lesser-known yet beneficial effects of masturbation. When you ejaculate, your prostate releases built-up seminal fluid, a process sometimes referred to as prostatic drainage. This natural mechanism helps relieve internal pressure and may lower the risk of irritation and inflammation. For most men, this release creates a clear sense of relief and relaxation. But for those who rarely ejaculate, that same buildup can cause temporary congestion inside the gland. It can lead to mild pelvic discomfort or even an increased urge to urinate. This issue is especially common among men who have benign prostatic hyperplasia, BPH, or chronic prostatitis, where stagnant fluid can become a source of internal pressure and inflammation over time. Richard, a 72-year-old retiree, had gone several months without any sexual activity. Gradually, he began to feel a dull, persistent ache in his lower abdomen and noticed that he was waking up more often at night to urinate. Concerned, he visited his doctor, who explained that his prostate was mildly congested due to a lack of ejaculation. This buildup caused inflammation and increased pressure on the bladder, leading to his symptoms. To Richard's surprise, his doctor recommended a simple yet effective remedy: regular ejaculation. It was a natural way to ease the internal pressure and reduce inflammation. Following this advice, Richard soon experienced noticeable improvements. The discomfort subsided, and his nightly bathroom trips became far less frequent. Of course, this doesn't mean every man needs to follow a specific schedule. However, it highlights an important truth. Ejaculation can serve as a natural method to relieve prostate congestion and support better comfort. Still, if discomfort persists even after ejaculation, or if the relief is only temporary, it could signal an underlying condition that requires medical evaluation. The key takeaway is simple: moderation matters. For many men, maintaining a balanced pattern of sexual activity can help promote prostate health and prevent unnecessary irritation. It's a gentle, natural way to keep things functioning smoothly as you age. Now let's explore another important aspect of this process: how masturbation affects your hormones. Each time you masturbate, your body undergoes a series of hormonal shifts, especially involving testosterone and dihydrotestosterone, often known as DH. These hormones are essential for prostate function, muscle strength, and overall male vitality. While testosterone naturally rises and falls throughout the day, sexual activity can cause a temporary drop immediately after ejaculation. For younger men, this dip often goes unnoticed, as their bodies replenish testosterone levels quickly. But as men grow older, natural testosterone production begins to slow down. In these cases, frequent ejaculation can sometimes lead to short-term declines in energy, motivation, and muscle recovery. This hormonal fluctuation explains why some older men, particularly those in their 60s and 70s, may feel brief fatigue or lower energy after sexual release. It's not a sign of weakness. It's simply the body's natural rhythm adjusting to age-related hormonal balance. Men in their 60s and 70s often notice that they feel a bit more tired after masturbation than they did in their younger years. However, this dip in energy is only temporary. In most cases, testosterone levels return to their normal baseline within 24 hours. It's simply part of the body's natural recovery rhythm. Alongside testosterone, there's another key hormone to consider: DHT, or dihydrotestosterone. This is a more potent form of testosterone that plays a major role in prostate health. While DHT is vital for normal male development and function, excessive levels over time can contribute to prostate enlargement and even hair loss. Interestingly, several studies have suggested that frequent ejaculation may help reduce DHT buildup, potentially lowering the risk of developing benign prostatic hyperplasia, or BPH. Still, hormonal balance is a delicate process. Too little DHT can lower libido and affect overall vitality, while too much can strain the prostate and accelerate certain age-related conditions. Striking the right balance is essential for maintaining both sexual health and energy as you grow older. Take Frank, for example, a 68-year-old man who had been feeling unusually sluggish for several weeks. He noticed his motivation dropping and his energy fading throughout the day. After consulting his doctor, he discovered that his frequent late-night masturbation habits, combined with irregular sleep, were slightly disrupting his testosterone balance. By making small but meaningful adjustments, such as improving his sleep schedule, incorporating strength training, and following a nutrient-rich diet, Frank was able to restore his vitality and maintain healthy hormone levels, all while enjoying a normal sex life. For most men, these hormonal fluctuations aren't something to fear, but they are worth understanding. Knowing how testosterone and DHT work together allows you to make smarter, more informed choices about your health and habits as you age. If you ever notice ongoing fatigue, reduced libido, or slower muscle recovery, it might be time to discuss hormone balance with your doctor. Masturbation itself isn't harmful. In fact, it can be part of a healthy lifestyle. The key is moderation, especially when it comes to maintaining stable hormone levels and supporting long-term prostate wellness. Now, let's move to the next important change that occurs: the increase in blood flow to the prostate. One of the very first things that happens when you become aroused is a surge of blood flowing into the pelvic area, including the prostate gland. This natural response plays an essential role in your body's sexual function and overall health. The prostate, located just below the bladder, relies on healthy blood circulation to perform its functions efficiently. During arousal, this increased blood flow helps deliver oxygen and nutrients, supporting the gland's activity and overall vitality. The prostate is responsible for producing seminal fluid, and when a man becomes aroused, it receives a surge of oxygen-rich blood to prepare for ejaculation. This process happens automatically, and for most men, it occurs without any discomfort. However, for those with an enlarged or inflamed prostate, the increased blood flow can cause temporary swelling and pressure in the pelvic region. That's why some men experience a sense of fullness or mild aching after ejaculation, especially if they're already dealing with conditions such as benign prostatic hyperplasia, BPH, or prostatitis. Consider George, a 74-year-old man who had lived for years with mild prostate enlargement. For most of his life, it wasn't a serious issue, but over time, he began to feel a dull, lingering ache in his lower abdomen after ejaculation. At first, he dismissed it as normal aging, yet the discomfort slowly became more persistent, sometimes making it hard for him to fall asleep. When he finally visited his doctor, he learned that the increased blood flow during sexual activity was temporarily inflaming his already enlarged prostate. The doctor reassured him that moderate ejaculation was still beneficial for overall prostate health, but also offered practical advice. Staying well hydrated, eating a balanced diet, and practicing pelvic floor relaxation exercises could all help minimize post-ejaculation discomfort. George followed this guidance and soon noticed that the pressure and pain became much more manageable. For most men, this temporary swelling is harmless. It's simply part of how the body regulates circulation and recovery. However, if you ever notice extended discomfort, difficulty urinating, or ongoing pelvic pain after ejaculation, it's wise to seek medical advice. While masturbation itself doesn't cause prostate problems, pre-existing conditions like BPH or chronic prostatitis can make the aftereffects more noticeable. Awareness is the key. Understanding how your body reacts to these natural processes allows you to make better decisions about your health and avoid unnecessary discomfort as you age. Taking care of your prostate isn't just about medical checkups. It's about learning to listen to what your body is trying to tell you. Let's move on to another critical aspect: how masturbation can affect urinary function. For many older men, urinary health becomes a growing concern over time. And interestingly, sexual activity can actually play a role in how efficiently the urinary system performs. Because the prostate sits just below the bladder and surrounds part of the urethra, any changes in its condition directly influence urinary flow, frequency, and urgency. Each time you ejaculate, the prostate contracts and then gradually relaxes. This process can cause a temporary increase in the urge to urinate or a mild feeling that the bladder hasn't fully emptied, especially if the prostate is already enlarged. This becomes particularly relevant for men who have benign prostatic hyperplasia, or BPH, a common age-related condition in which the prostate grows and compresses the urethra, making urination more difficult. Some men notice that after ejaculation, their urinary stream becomes weaker, or they may feel the need to urinate several times within a short period. This happens because the muscles that control the bladder and prostate need a little time to readjust after sexual activity. The sensation can be surprising if you're not expecting it, but it's a normal, temporary response of the body. Robert, a 70-year-old man, began experiencing frequent nighttime urination and assumed it was just part of aging. However, after speaking with his doctor, he discovered that his prostate was slightly enlarged, which affected his bladder control. He also realized that after masturbation, he often felt an increased urgency to urinate, yet his stream was weaker. Armed with this information, Robert began making small, thoughtful adjustments. He limited his intake of caffeine and alcohol, stayed better hydrated, and kept track of when his symptoms appeared. Over time, he learned to manage his urination patterns more effectively, allowing him to enjoy more restful nights and fewer interruptions. Interestingly, for men without significant prostate enlargement, masturbation may actually have the opposite effect. It can help relax the pelvic muscles and support better urinary flow in the long term. Some urologists even suggest that periodic ejaculation keeps the prostate more flexible and helps prevent stagnation of fluids, which could otherwise contribute to inflammation. The most important lesson here is to listen to your body. If you ever find that urination becomes increasingly difficult, painful, or uncomfortable after ejaculation, that could be a sign of an underlying issue that needs medical attention. Paying attention to these subtle signals can help protect your prostate and maintain urinary health as you age. In the end, while masturbation can influence urinary patterns, its effects vary widely depending on prostate health, hydration levels, and overall lifestyle habits. Every man's body responds differently. If you begin to notice changes in your urination that seem connected to sexual activity, it's always best to talk with your doctor. A simple conversation can help determine whether what you're experiencing is normal or if it needs further evaluation. Maintaining a healthy balance in every area, hydration, regular exercise, and consistent prostate care, can go a long way in keeping urinary function stable and comfortable as you age. Now let's move to another fascinating aspect: how masturbation can affect your circulation and blood flow. This is one of the lesser-known but important effects, especially for older men. Each time you engage in sexual activity, whether with a partner or on your own, your heart rate rises, your blood vessels expand, and oxygen-rich blood begins to flow more efficiently throughout your body. This temporary surge in circulation can actually offer mild cardiovascular benefits, somewhat similar to those gained from light physical exercise. However, for men with pre-existing heart conditions, high blood pressure, or other circulatory problems, the effects can be a bit more complex. In many cases, masturbation acts as a natural stress reliever, helping relax blood vessels and slightly lower blood pressure for a short time. The reason behind this lies in a natural compound called nitric oxide, which your body releases during sexual arousal. Nitric oxide helps dilate blood vessels, improving circulation and promoting smoother blood flow throughout your system. Interestingly, several studies have suggested that regular sexual activity may even support heart health by lowering stress-related inflammation and encouraging better oxygen circulation. Yet, as with all bodily functions, balance is key. If you ever experience dizziness, chest tightness, or irregular heartbeats after ejaculation, that could be a warning sign of an underlying cardiovascular issue that should not be ignored. Take Alan, for instance, a 73-year-old man who had always lived a fairly active lifestyle. He began noticing occasional bouts of dizziness after climaxing. At first, he dismissed it, thinking it was just a momentary fluctuation, but after one particularly intense episode of lightheadedness, he realized something wasn't right. Concerned, he decided to visit his doctor, who ordered a few tests to better understand what was happening. The results revealed that Alan's blood pressure tended to fluctuate sharply after sexual activity, a sign that his cardiovascular system was reacting more strongly than it should. Alan's tests showed that his blood pressure tended to drop slightly after sexual activity, which explained the dizziness he had been experiencing. With a few thoughtful adjustments, improving his hydration, making small dietary changes, and spacing out more intense physical or sexual activities, he was able to maintain a satisfying and safe sex life without unnecessary worry. On the other hand, poor circulation can have broader effects on men's health, particularly when it comes to erectile function. Erectile dysfunction, or ED, is a condition that affects a large percentage of men over 60. In many cases, men may start to notice a weaker or slower erectile response, which can signal a reduction in vascular performance. After all, an erection depends entirely on healthy blood flow, so any issue that affects circulation, such as high cholesterol, arterial stiffness, or diabetes, can interfere with sexual health. Doctors often describe erectile function as a kind of window into the heart's condition. In other words, changes in sexual performance can serve as early indicators of cardiovascular health problems. That's why it's so important not to dismiss these signs. While masturbation alone won't dramatically improve circulation, it can still be one small but valuable part of an overall strategy to support cardiovascular wellness and maintain healthy blood flow. The key lies in awareness, paying attention to your body's signals, especially symptoms like dizziness, fatigue, or irregular heartbeats after ejaculation, can help you identify potential issues before they become serious. Heart health and sexual health are closely intertwined. When one declines, the other often follows. Keeping your blood pressure, cholesterol, and circulation in balance is essential not only for your heart, but also for maintaining vitality and confidence in your later years. As we come to the end of this video, take a quiet moment to think about the 6 changes we've just explored together. Which one stood out to you the most? Did any of these signs feel familiar, or perhaps help you understand your body a little better as it continues to change with age? The truth is, our bodies never stop evolving. Recognizing these natural processes allows us to make wiser, more confident choices about our long-term health and well-being. Masturbation is often surrounded by misunderstanding, yet as we've learned, it directly affects many essential aspects of a man's health, from prostate function and hormone balance to mental well-being, urinary patterns, and circulation. Each of these elements plays a role in how you feel every day, shaping both your physical comfort and emotional stability as you grow older. The most important message is balance. Like every other part of life, moderation is key. Pay attention to how your body reacts, listen to its signals, and make small adjustments when needed. These conscious choices can help you maintain better energy, clearer focus, and a greater sense of control over your health. And remember, if something doesn't feel right, if you experience discomfort, fatigue, or anything unusual, don't hesitate to seek professional medical advice. Protecting your health is one of the most valuable investments you can ever make. We'd love to hear from you. Share in the comments one insight you gained today or one step you plan to take toward improving your well-being. Your reflections not only inspire others, but also motivate us to keep creating meaningful content that informs and supports your health journey. Thank you for watching, and we hope you found real value in today's discussion. Wishing you good health, lasting happiness, and peaceful days ahead. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more insightful videos designed to help you live stronger and healthier every day.